Ever wonder why your cast comes up short? Or why your reel feels wrong for the fish you're chasing? It might not be you, it could be the line or the reel size. If you're new here, I'm Captain Kevin, and you might just learn something new here today. I've used everything from a 2000 to an 8000 series spinning reel, chasing everything from crappie to large offshore fish. And today, I'm breaking that all down. You're gonna learn what size line I actually use and why, when to use each reel size, my trick for saving money by keeping half the line when you're re-spooling, how I connect new line to the old line the right way, and how to spool your new reel like a pro, no matter what size line you're running. Let's get you dialed in and ready for non-stop action. So I'm gonna start by talking about line size that I use on my reels. So about 95% of the reels that I use for bass fishing, striper fishing, white bass fishing, redfish, trout, I use 20-pound braid. When I was guiding, I went with the big spools of 20 pound. So I've probably loaded up over 20, 30 reels with this 20-pound braid. It is 6-pound monofilament equivalent. So it casts excellent, and just from a all around good braid, I highly recommend this Power Pro green. You don't really see it in the water at all, and it has worked for me fabulous. I can't remember the last time I've had a break in this line. I do get wind knots every once in a while and I have to cut them out and put some new line on the reels. But for the most part, I go for a long time, probably multiple years before I re-spool or put new line on reels, because this braid works just great. Here's a smaller spool. This is actually the P-line brand. Most of what I use is Power Pro, but here's a P-line. This is a smaller 300 yard spool. This was 1500 yards. So I'll show you later in this video of how we put this line on the reels. For my bigger reels, like 8000 and my 5000, these reels I use for offshore big game fishing. I'll put on a 100-pound Power Pro. I go with a little bit heavier because you can crank down the drag and fight those bigger fish in. Going down to my smaller stuff, probably the smallest I put on is 8 or 10-pound Power Pro. This super slick, I'll put it on my 2000 series reels that I've got, these Siennas. This is what I've used for crappie fishing. I've got about 6 of these set up for my different size crappie rods that I use. This is a 300 yard spool of 10 pound. It is 2 pound equivalent in monofilament line. But with crappie fishing, you're not doing a lot of casting. Most of the fishing I'm doing is with live scope, and you're dropping straight down and picking off one at a time. All right, so now let's talk about spinning reels and what sizes of spinning reels I use for different types of fishing. I'm gonna first start out with, it's not specifically a spinning reel, but starting with the smallest fish I fish for. As I guided, I ran a lot of kid trips, and this was my #1 go-to reel when we're running kid trips and we're just going out there and we're catching small perch and smaller catfish. This Zebco 33, you can get off of Amazon. I'll put some links in the description of the video on where you can get these. But this Zebco 33 has been awesome. It also allows you to move the handle from side to side. So just like a spinning reel, you can move the handle on either side. A baitcaster, you can't. But these spinning reels and this Zebco 33, you can move it. So this already comes preloaded, I think probably with 10-pound monofilament. But for kids, this is an excellent choice for getting them started catching perch. The next reel is a 2000 series reel. This is a Sienna, Shimano Sienna 2000. I use this primarily for crappie fishing. The 2500 series reels I use now for all of my saltwater wade fishing. I used to use 4000 series, but as I've gotten older, I like the lighter 2500 series. This is a Penn Battle 2500. I also really like the Shimano Stratic 2500. I fished the Stratic a lot and it has been a really good reel. The 4000 series reel, I used to use these all the time for saltwater fishing in the bay because I thought I needed a bigger reel for those big redfish. Now you may, if you're going after bull reds at the jetties, you may want to go to these 4000s. You can crank down the drag a little bit more and put more line on them to chase them around. But when you're wade fishing, most of your fish are going to stay within 50 yards of wherever you are. They may pull off a little drag off that 2500, but the 2500 probably weighs half as much as this 4000. So you're lugging this thing around all day, you definitely know it. The 5000 series, this is an older Cabela's salt striker that I've used for many years down at the coast on my offshore trips for kingfish, snapper fishing, any of those offshore type fish that we go out for and catch offshore. This 8000 series Penn Battle Reel I got for Costa Rica catching marlin and tuna. And this one I've also used on many of my snapper trips. For my line demonstration today, we're gonna pull off some of this braid that is on this 4000. This is a Shimano Sahara reel, and there's a couple ways to do it. I mean, you can manually just pull it off. I'm gonna pull off about half of the spool, and I'm going to put new line on about halfway down. When you're fishing, most of the fishing you're gonna be doing is within 50, 60 yards of wherever you're wade fishing. So you don't need a whole lot of line on the reel. And if you take all the line off and you put brand new line on, you're only going to be using the top 20% of that line most of the time. But you do want the reel spooled full. When you cast, if you don't have that spool full, you're going to create friction on the edge of that spool and it's going to catch and slow down your cast. So you want to make sure that you fill it all the way up. So we're going to use this tool here to remove the line off this reel. So this is a battery operated line tool. So I can put it in there and you can see it spitting it away. So we'll take about half the line down on this one. So I'm back down to really good green line that's never seen any salt water off of that reel. It's never been cast off that far. All right, so we're gonna cut that line there with some scissors. So I've got these two-piece toadfish rods, and this will work just fine for what we're gonna do to load up this reel. Put this reel on the rod. We will then feed the line up through this one eyelet. I really just need this one eyelet so that we can apply a little friction there. Now we're gonna open that up, and then I'm gonna tie my Alberto knot. This is my favorite knot to use to connect two lines together. If you want to see my other go-to knots that I use all the time, you can see that video up here. I'll link it up above over here. So let's snip off those two ends. All right, there is our line connected. Now what I do to hold it, there's a number of ways you can do it. I usually find a box or this Tupperware container, and I put it in that Tupperware container to keep it from, it provides a little friction as I'm loading the line on it, and it just holds it there. So now I can reel it. So most people recommend you put this line up to about 1/8 of an inch to 1/16 of an inch from the top. It's better to put on a little bit extra when you're putting the line on. And if you find that the line's fallen off on you, you can always cut off 10 yards or so to get it to the right length so it stays on the spool. You don't want to do it too short because then you can't go add additional line. So it's better to add a little bit extra, and you have to tweak it just maybe on your first or second use. So I'm gonna cut it off there, and I'll hold this tight to put it down the rest of the way. If you've seen any of my other videos, I always have rubber bands on my wrist. Put that rubber band around that reel, keep that line on there. So that's how I spool up my 20-pound braid on the majority of my reels. Now we're gonna go put new line on one of my crappie reels, this 8-pound test. So I'm gonna use a device that I bought many years ago. It's a line spooling device. So you can hold the reel and the line at the same time. I'll provide a link in the description of where you can pick one of these up if you want to get one. So there's the reel, and then the line will go into this device like so to hold it. And then you can tighten down the drag that holds the line there while you're spooling it on. So as long as it's in there pretty snug and it's not going to fall out, that should work good for me. How do we go about putting on this line on to this reel here? So this is a new reel. It's never had line on it. So we use what's called an arbor knot to start the line onto this spool. So sometimes reels will have a backing on here that keeps the line from slipping. This one does not. So we're going to tie the arbor knot onto the spool, and then I'll show you one of the tricks I do to keep it from slipping. So an arbor knot is literally an overhand knot at the end of the line, and because this line is so small, I'm going to go through 4 or 5 times to make that end knot a little bit fatter so that it doesn't pull through. Okay, and then you literally go around the spool, and then you tie another overhand knot over the top of that line, and then when you pull it tight, that first knot that you tied, it gets snagged in the whole operation of what you're doing there. Now we're tight. So what I like to do is pull that into the middle there. So my tip here to keep that line from spinning around on the inside of the spool is to use a little piece of painter's tape. This is painter's masking tape. You can get it at Home Depot or Lowe's, and just tear off just a little bit of piece that you can put onto the middle of this line to keep it spinning around. You're never going to see it again because the line's going to get it all covered up. Actually, that one's going to be a little too big, so make it a little bit smaller. And that will keep that line from spinning on the reel. Okay, so now we've got that. We're going to close the bail by hand. If you've seen any of my other videos on using spinning reels, you always open the bail with your hand and you close the bail with your hand. Don't use the handle to close the bail. Your reel will last you a lot longer if you close it by hand. All right, so now we're just gonna slowly crank on that line onto the reel. And since this is the first time I've loaded this, yes, you're going to use a little bit more. You could put some old monofilament down as the initial backing to load the reel halfway if you wanted to. Save you a little money on braid. But for this one, I'm just going to load it up with new line so it's ready to go for future change outs. And this spool's got about 300 yards of line on it. I make a little note of when I load a reel, and I probably usually say that I use about 100 yards per reel. For a spool, I'll usually load up about 3 reels per spool. So this one actually, and this is going to be a crappie reel, so not super important that it's totally full because you're not really casting it, but that's pretty close to full. So we'll snip it off there and call that one loaded up. All right, rubber band, put that around the reel, and you now have a loaded reel. This little clip right here, this is not to start your line out. This is not to tick your line in here and then wrap it around the reel. This little tick is to hold the line on the outside if you don't have a rubber band. Whether you're tossing lures at bass with a 2500 or chasing bull reds with a 4000, understanding your reel and line setup matters. These tips will save you money, improve your casts, and give you more confidence on the water. And if you're just starting out, don't miss my beginner tips for spinning reels here. It'll help you avoid some of the classic mistakes. And speaking of mistakes, check out my video of 6 spinning reel mistakes that many anglers make. Fix those and you'll instantly fish better. Hit that like button if this helped you out, and subscribe for more gear tips and real world fishing advice. Tight lines, y'all, and we'll catch you out there on the water.